Park Board President Kevin Graf.
Good. Hello, my name's Kevin Graf, your president of the Park Board of Commissioners, and I'm here with Jim Rogers, our executive director, and we're going to provide you with the state of the Park District and an Elevate Elmhurst Parks update for tonight. I want to first off say thank you for attending and for anybody watching since we are recording this. As I stated, we are a 7-member board, of which we have a president, vice president, and 5 commissioners, which I'll move on to here. We're elected by the community, and we have 6-year terms staggered every 2 years, and all board members are volunteer, and we serve without compensation. We provide a strategic long-term direction for the district. We provide oversight and policy rather than day-to-day operations. That's Jim's job, who we hire as an executive director, and he reports or she reports to the Board of Commissioners. We approve the tax levy, budgets, and large expenditures, and we seek residents' input on large-scale decisions, similar to what we did with Elevate Elmhurst Parks. So what does the Elmhurst Park District provide? Well, we provide open space, which we maintain parks, trails, gardens, a remnant prairie of nearly up to 475 acres complete. We do recreation, more than 1,000 different recreational programs. We do trips and services that are offered for all ages. We provide space to play. We have 19 playgrounds across the district, 68 athletic fields, 4 different sled hills across 30 parks. We are an employer. The district's the largest employer in the community of youth. We have a fitness center called Courts Plus, and it's a full-service fitness facility owned and operated by the district. And most importantly, we have time for fun. We have over 10 free community events that are offered throughout the year. And things like Eldridge Adventure Day, the Easter egg hunt, and movies in the park. And our mission for the Park Board of Commissioners and the Elmhurst Park District is to enrich lives while having fun. And, you know, we have our vision, which is to be a national leader in providing memorable experiences, and our values there of belonging, fun, community-focused, integrity, and customer service excellence. And now I'd like to turn it over to Jim Rogers to provide a background of some of our highlights for 2024 and what's to come. Jim?
Thank you very much, Kevin. Appreciate that a lot. And as Commissioner Graf said, everything that the Park District does is built around our mission, vision, and values. And with that, as we said, we're going to start with a focus on kind of highlighting some of our accomplishments from 2024. We're very pleased that we began construction of Canine Corner, which will be Elmhurst's first dog park. That picture that you see there on the screen in the middle was taken literally just a couple of days ago, where the big shelter that's going to be in the middle of the park is well underway in construction. We're looking forward to construction being completed later this year, and then it opening early in 2025, likely waiting until spring when there's some decent weather. We'll mention, for those who may not be familiar, the Canine Corner is located at the far south end of Elmhurst on Old York Road. Someone asked online recently about the location, and yes, it is the location of one of the old former trailer parks in Elmhurst that the Park Board purchased a number of years back specifically for this purpose, excuse me. In addition to that, we were very pleased and excited to open a brand new park in Elmhurst, Pick Park, over in the Pick subdivision. You can see the Park Board here at the ribbon cutting, and lots of little ones enjoying the park that first day that it opened. Really exciting achievement and opportunity for the entire Elmhurst community, and that the Pick subdivision, which is west of Route 83 and north of St. Charles Road, has never had a park in its decades and decades of existence. And so Park Board and Park District are very excited to now be providing a park for this neighborhood. We also redeveloped one of our existing parks, Pioneer Park, which is located in the center of town, just west of York Road and immediately adjacent to and south of the Prairie Path. This was a terrific redevelopment. We saw it and received a tremendous amount of feedback from the community on the design of the redevelopment. In addition to the playground that you see here in the photos, we also added more bench seating. You can see from the playground lots of shade over it, and then we also resurfaced and updated the basketball court in the park as well. Next, over at our Keys Recreation Center, which is our primary center for adult and senior programming, as well as serving all ages kind of on evenings and weekends, we undertook two significant projects here. One was we fully renovated the kitchen in the facility, which was like kind of a 1970s era vintage. We've completely upgraded it and renovated, as you can see in the picture on the right here. And now it is a full-scale teaching kitchen, as evidenced by the other photos there. So we've just this year started to offer a tremendous array of programs from the cooking area, and look forward to expanding those into next year. And then in addition, we resurfaced the flooring in the dining hall gymnasium of the facility as well. Both of those projects were able to be completed through a significant grant that we received from the state of Illinois, and our thanks goes to State Senator Susie Gloyak-Hilton for her help in securing that grant. Next, we were very pleased, as I'm sure most watchers of this presentation know, the district has struggled to have enough indoor programming space to meet the needs of the community. So the Park Board was very pleased earlier this year to enhance and expand our long-term existing interagency relationship with the Ray Graham Association by entering into a memorandum of understanding in which we are now able to use the Ray Graham, the RGA's Elmhurst Learning Center, which is located on Madison Street, west of Spring Road. And we are able to use the gymnasium as well as two programming classrooms there after school and on evenings and weekends. And as part of this memorandum of understanding, we contributed half the cost to refinishing the floor of the gymnasium that you see here in these photos. Really a tremendous, tremendous project. It's an amazing floor, original maple wood floor that was able to be sanded down, patched a little bit, and resurfaced, and it is already serving the needs of the community very well. And we look forward to more of that in the coming years. Next, as we move kind of outdoors into the parks, we were very pleased to do a complete renovation of Ball Diamond #1 at Butterfield Park. This is one of the district's premier ball diamonds. It's a full-scale baseball diamond serving local groups, but just as importantly, it's part of another interagency agreement that we have with Elmhurst University, where the university uses it for their men's baseball team, and then the community is able to use it at other times. What we did in this project was to completely replace the backstop, all of the perimeter fencing, the bullpens as well, and you can see here in the photo we've got the new netting system behind home plate there as opposed to the old style backstops. Going to make the facility much more efficient and effective, and the backstop and fencing really had reached the end of its useful life. As we said, terrific partnership with the university, and also received a state grant to help fund half the cost of this project as well. Next, moving on to Wilder Park. It is one of obviously our most heavily used parks, and really kind of the crown jewel in the center of Elmhurst here. We completed some enhancements to the Wilder Park formal gardens with some masonry repairs and landscape bed improvements. You can see the masonry items here that lead into some of the entranceways into the park, and we did complete tuck pointing and replacing of some of the capstones. So it's a really, really nice update and refurbishment there. The district maintains and operates lots of parking lots, lots of walking and riding and biking and jogging paths. We undertook 3 significant paving projects in 2024. One was to resurface the parking lot at Wilder Park between the Wilder Mansion and the tennis courts. That's shown in the photo on the right here. In the center, you see some resurfacing or repaving, I should say, that we did of pathways in Eldridge Park. Again, another very heavily used park in the south end of town. And then the photo on the left there is a parking lot that we resurfaced in Butterfield Park, kind of north of the ball diamond that we just showed. This was also part of an intergovernmental effort with the city of Elmhurst. Next, our outdoor pools, obviously each summer receive a tremendous amount of use, and obviously are subject to tremendous elements between the sun and the water during the pool season, but then the outdoor elements during the winter with snow and water and freezing and thawing. And so every so often we need to resurface these pools. And so this past fall, right after the pool closed, in fact, we sandblasted and repainted the entire pool so it'll look good as new for the summer of 2025 on Memorial Day weekend. Next, kind of leading to the completion of a project that was primarily undertaken in 2023, but 2023 and then kind of a little bit of carryover in 2024 was the restoration of Sugar Creek at Sugar Creek Golf Course. That creek, the creek itself was in need of significant work between sediment accumulation, shoreline erosion, and then degradation of the water quality. We undertook a significant project to completely renovate and improve the creek there through the golf course. And following the completion of that project, it received a number of awards. It received branch and chapter awards from the American Public Works Association as Project of the Year for environmental efforts, which we were very proud of. And then also our golf course superintendent, Kevin Goss, who is in the photo you see here on the right here, holding one of the plaques with the tie, received the Village of Villa Park's Green Champion Award. The golf course, Sugar Creek Golf Course, is co-owned by the Village of Villa Park and the Elmhurst Park District. Kevin was very pleased to receive this and very well deserving, of course, as well. That highlights kind of our project type of accomplishments and things during the year. And then just literally a significant accomplishment for the Park District that occurred literally a week ago yesterday is that we received news through the results of the election that Elmhurst voted yes and made the choice to vote yes and support the district's referendum that was put on the November 5th ballot, as I said. This is really a monumental and significant moment for the Elmhurst community and the Park District. It's the first time that the Park District has gone to referendum since 1971, and we're so very pleased, and I know I can speak for the Park Board as well, by what this is going to mean about our opportunity to deliver services to the community for years to come. Pictured there on your left are the Park Board when they initially signed the resolution to go to referendum back on August 5th, and then September, October, November, 3 months later, the community decided to make the choice to back the referendum. And you see some other photos here of the engagement efforts that we undertook to get the word out about the referendum and provide information. And what that referendum will do chiefly is it'll allow us to reimagine the Wagner Community Center. Our current community center, the Wagner Center, is an original 1950s elementary school. That building will be taken down and completely replaced with a new building. If I didn't already say it, that building is about 32,000 square feet, and the new center will be more than 4 times that size at about 127,000 square feet. And what it will do is really allow us to provide enhanced year-round recreation for all. It'll have a 3-lane walking jogging track that will be free to all residents. It'll have a gymnasium for every sport you can think of, from pickleball, basketball, and volleyball, indoor artificial turf, first of its kind in Elmhurst, available to the community for soccer, football, baseball, lacrosse, you name it, larger spaces for our dance and gymnastics programs, flexible multi-purpose spaces for more Park District programming and also for community gatherings. It'll have an indoor play area for children, which will be fantastic when families have one child in programs and one child waiting for that program to wrap up. And then it will also have new dedicated early childhood and preschool spaces with a separate secure entrance. So we're very, very excited about that. The other components then of the referendum allowing us to provide year-round recreation for all are some outdoor-based amenities. Chiefly among them is to build a community band shell in Wilder Park out on the beautiful lawn east of the Wilder Mansion, where for decades the Park District has held concerts, shown movies, and put on performances. So we're very excited about that. Also then looking with the communities having made the choice to add permanent heated restrooms to 3 parks in the community: Crestview Park on the north end of town, in the center of town at Wilder Park as part of the band shell, and on the south end of town at Eldridge Park, and then also providing a permanent restroom building that will be available year-round along the Illinois Prairie Path as well. And then the final component of this from an outdoor perspective is converting one of our natural grass fields at Barron's Park into artificial turf, which will give us a total of 3 artificial turf fields up there at Barron's Park. So again, very, very exciting moment for the Park District and the community. We're excited about what this will mean in the future. And then when I reference the future, let's talk just briefly about the timeline for these projects. So as I said, literally just approved, I should say, unofficially by the voters last week, waiting for official results in about another week or so. But in terms of timeframes, here on the right of this image, you see the map showing the locations, but in terms of specific timeframes, We'll spend 2025 really diving into detailed design, development, and engineering of all of the facilities, and at the same time making plans to temporarily relocate the programs that take place in the current Wagner Center out of that building and into new spaces temporarily. Those will include existing Park District spaces to the extent we can, and then we will also likely look to rent some facility space in town for a period of time that will take from when we start work, as I said, in the fall of 2025 by demolishing the building and then building the new structure. That will take about 2 years, and then we will move back in for programming in fall of 2027. Then in the middle of the slide here, you see the other projects like the band shell and the restrooms and the artificial turf field will all take place kind of in the midst of that same time frame as well. Again, we're just so excited to be able to provide this to the community in the coming years. And as we speak about the coming years, let's focus then on this next year, 2025, and talk a little bit about our strategic work plan. The district always, with the board's at the board's direction, we do everything that we do strategically, based entirely on community input. And with our current strategic plan, Elevate Elmhurst Parks, we have 6 strategic priorities that we base everything that we do around. Those are to have invigorated parks, vibrant facilities, and dynamic offerings. And then also to function through an engaged community, providing stronger finances and a thriving culture. And on these next slides, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit on each of the strategic priorities and just highlight a few. You'll see a number of tactics and plans listed there, but I'm just going to highlight a few with each of the strategic priorities. So to start off from the perspective of invigorated parks, which means that we're looking to enhance our park amenities and open spaces. There are a number of things listed here. I'll talk about a few of those later when we talk about projects for the coming year, but one that I want to highlight is that we're looking to complete engineering to replace the existing tennis courts at Barron's Park. They were last redone many years ago, and sort of looking to enhance and replace those. So we'll do engineering in 2025 and then look to complete that work in a future year. Our next priority is to have vibrant facilities, looking to expand and upgrade our facilities to better meet the community's needs. Already talked about what the referendum will provide from that respect, and we'll talk more with projects about some opportunities there as well. But one that hasn't been highlighted yet is that we're looking to replace one of our rooftop heating, ventilating, and air conditioning units at Courts Plus, and then also install a variable air volume system at the Keys Recreation Center. That's fancy talk for allowing us to have climate control in each room on a separate basis at the Keys Center, which is not currently available. That will provide for a much better experience for users in that facility. Moving on then to dynamic offerings, a whole host of plans that the staff has for next year, but want to highlight, as we mentioned, the construction at Canine Corner. Then in addition to having the dog park open for just general usage by residents and members of the dog park, we'll also be looking to offer programming there. For you dog owners out there, I'm sure you know what we're talking about. This might be holiday-themed events, might be birthday parties. Who knows? I know our staff is excited and has a whole host of activity or ideas, I should say. In addition, we're also looking, Commissioner Graf mentioned earlier, the 10 community events that we offer each year, and we're very proud of those. They're free and open to any members of the community, that community being Elmhurst and the larger community as well. But we're always looking for ways to improve those, and one of the ways we're going to continue to look is to expand our inclusivity and accessibility so that those really are welcoming and provide a belonging experience for all participants. And then lastly, another intergovernmental cooperative effort that we undertake is Rec Station, which is a before and after school program offered in each of the 8 elementary schools in the school district. That program has been in existence for literally decades and still has a tremendous amount of demand. So we're going to be continuing to explore options to expand the maximum number of participants that we can accommodate in that program. Next, from the perspective of an engaged community, which speaks to increasing opportunities for us to communicate and collaborate. One of the things we like to try to do is explore and implement tools to enable the community to provide timely feedback to us, whether you're out in a park and you see a tree that's come over because the night before there was a storm, or you see something in a park that you have a suggestion or an idea that you want to provide to us. We have some opportunities to do that now through the district's website, but we're going to look and see if there are tools that would make that more real time and in the hands of residents as well, to be able to do that more readily and more easily. Moving on then to stronger finances and looking at growing the fiscal capacity of the district. A couple of things I want to highlight here is that we're going to be evaluating our long-term bonding capability. for funding for capital projects. And what that refers to specifically is our ability to fund capital projects outside of the referendum. This is, we showed an earlier slide about parking lot and paving enhancements, and we've talked about replacements of HVAC units at our buildings. This is talking about what type of bonding capacity that we have to do capital projects to continue to address those types of needs for our community with the existing assets that the park board and park district already maintain. And then in addition, again, beyond the referendum, we always look to seek alternate revenue sources to offset our capital projects, and particularly those in the Elevate Elmhurst Parks plan. I mentioned earlier a number of the capital projects that we undertook this year that had alternate revenue sources, whether that's through grants or partnership opportunities, and we will continue to seek those opportunities as well, as the park board is always looking to be not only good stewards of the community's tax dollars, but also for opportunities to try to lessen the reliance on those through outside funding sources. Next, we're always looking to foster a culture where every employee feels like they belong and can thrive, because everything that goes on at the Park District happens because of our fantastic and amazing staff. We are a service organization, and it's everything from camp counselors to personal trainers at Court Plus to our folks who are out mowing grass in the summer and plowing snow in the winter. And so that is always forefront at our minds. A couple of our planned initiatives here. We have a diversity, equity, and inclusion and belonging action plan, and we will be looking to assess and update that. It's a very important part of our culture. And then we're also looking to make sure that we have appropriate recognition initiatives for employees at the district at all levels. We have full-time employees at the Park District, kind of as everyone understands, like myself being a full-time employee, but the vast majority of our workforce is part-time, and then seasonal staff as well. And we want to make sure we're doing everything to recognize them. So again, that they feel like they're welcomed and belong and appreciated and contribute to having that thriving culture that leads to us providing more and better services to the community. Moving on then, I already talked about a number of projects that we completed in 2024, but now I would like to discuss some of the projects we're looking forward to addressing in 2025. Again, all of these projects, in addition to and adjacent to the referendum that I already spoke about. First and foremost, we're looking at replacing the Barron's Park Hub playground. This playground is in the center of Barron's Park at the Hub. It's coming up on 20 years old, maybe just a little bit older than that. At the Park District, we have a regular playground replacement schedule. We have 19 playgrounds in the system, and we replace one every year, so that puts them on about a 20-year replacement cycle. That's very timely because by that point in time, it can start to get difficult to find replacement parts to make repairs. And as you can see in these photos, that by about 20 years, things are starting to look a little bit dated and worn, and the community is looking for those enhancements. So we're excited about that project. Next, we're also looking to undertake a master plan for Crestview Park. Following the Barron's Park Hub Playground in 2025, the Crestview Park Playground is up for replacement in 2026. I mentioned earlier, as part of the referendum, that we're also looking to provide a new restroom building at Crestview Park. And so what we want to do is we want to do a full master plan and kind of take a step back and look at the park in its entirety, so that we don't have tunnel vision and do one thing that with the playground and then something else with the building, not thinking of them from in a totality perspective. So that's what we will be doing here. The photo that you see on the right here, it's an aerial satellite view of the park that we will be looking at, with the playground there right in the middle, just to the left of our pickleball courts. And then on the left there, you see the existing playground. Moving on then, back, I should say, to Barron's Park and the Hub. We're going to continue to look at our Barron's Park mini golf and that site, and looking at master plan development. That the mini golf course was closed this past year. It will continue to be closed into 2025. We are efforting to work and find the right solution for what we can best do at this site to meet the community's needs. During this past year, we looked at some alternatives for mini golf. We're just not sure if those are going to meet the community's needs. So before we, again, moved ahead with something that we weren't sure was right, we're going to take a step back and make sure that we're going to really do something that meets the community's needs. That will involve community engagement, I should say, and feedback as we move into 2025, and we're excited about that. Next, we maintain, as Commissioner Graf said in his opening remarks, I think it's 68 total athletic fields in the community, and we're looking to undertake a comprehensive improvement plan, develop, I should say, a comprehensive improvement plan for all of those facilities, whether it be facilities like you see on the right there from the ball diamond perspective, or what we call rectangular fields on the left for things like soccer, lacrosse, baseball, and those types of sports, but really kind of take an overall comprehensive look at all of our fields and develop a plan where we can then look to, on an annual basis, of where we would look to make improvements. Speaking of improvements, while we are developing that plan, we're not going to just sit back. As I mentioned earlier, we made improvements to the ball diamond number 1 at Butterfield Park this year in 2024, and next year in 2025, we're going to be replacing the backstops and fencing at East End Park. There are 3 ball diamonds here, a smaller one and 2, or excuse me, a larger one and 2 smaller ones. And again, you can see by the photos here the condition of those backstops, so we look forward to replacing those. Next, circling back to Wilder Mansion, as I mentioned, the park there and the gardens get a tremendous amount of use and visitors on a year-round basis. We are going to be shifting our efforts in the gardens from the formal gardens over at the south end of the park that I talked about earlier to now the gardens just west of and adjacent to the Wilder Mansion, looking to make improvements to the paths and beds that serve park users there by the fountain there on Prospect Avenue. Next, shifting back down to the south end of town at Butterfield Park, we're very pleased of our all-inclusive playground there, the Playground for Everyone, which has been there for a number of years now and serves playground users of all abilities. We received recent feedback from our community about the notion of looking at doing permanent fencing throughout the entire perimeter of that playground to help us I should say, parents with children who tend to run or to elope. And so we're excited to put this fence up and enclose that playground to provide a better experience for all users. Next, shifting back to the pools, we talked about the resurfacing at East End Pool. But next year, at our 2 pools, both East End and Smalley pools, we're going to be looking to making a safety enhancement there. At each of those pools, we have exterior gates along the perimeter fencing of the pools, but we're going to be installing emergency exit gates there. In the society and the world that we live in today, we always want to be prepared for the unimaginable and unforeseen circumstances. We want to make sure that exiting from those facilities, were it ever to be necessary in emergency, is able to be done quickly and easily and safely. And so we're excited to be making that important enhancement. Next, back to paving. As I said, we maintain countless amounts of asphalt from parking lots and walking paths and things. We have 3 major projects planned here. I'll go from left to right on your screen. At Barron's Park, we'll be looking at replacing some of the walking path there in the southwest corner of the park by the tennis courts, by our sand volleyball courts, and the second playground in Barron's Park. In the center there at York Commons Park, you can see Smalley Pool there in the center, our skate park to the upper left, and a ball diamond to the lower right. We're going to be replacing all of the pavement and walking paths there that lead you from the parking lot up to and into the pool and then out to the ball diamond as well. They've received tremendous amount of use and an impact of elements and trees and things like that over the years, so we're looking forward to enhancing those. And then here on the right at Conrad Fisher Park, we have a path there that links from the north part of the park over past the playground and the sport courts that we have over to Churchville Middle School, and then down to the south part of the park past the ball diamonds. The red shown on the plan here is existing path that we're going to be replacing and renovating and updating. But then what's shown in the blue there is expanded path that we're looking to provide at this park that will not only make the one ball diamond there shown with the blue path accessible, but it will also provide a full walking loop for residents to encircle the entire park here. We know the residents up in that neighborhood are very excited about that enhancement, and we look forward to that next year as well. Going back to the Ray Graham Elmhurst Community Learning Center that I spoke about, and that exciting memorandum of understanding. The picture on the right here that you see shows that brand new resurfaced gymnasium floor that we're very excited about. And it's been great thus far for us. One of the challenges, though, is that gymnasium is not air conditioned and will get very hot in the summer, but we look forward to being able to use it in the summer. So we're looking forward to partnering again with the Ray Graham Association to provide air conditioning in that space. The photo on the left here is a comparable gymnasium at our current, or multi-purpose room, I should say, at our current Wagner Community Center. And that apparatus kind of that you see up at the top there, our staff jokingly calls it the sock, that is actually venting for air conditioning. And that's the type of system that we'll be looking to provide at the Ray Graham Association facility. Continuing on then, back over to Courts Plus. We are very pleased to be undertaking a complete re-landscaping of the perimeter of this facility. What you see here on the screen are 3 different portions of the building. And then below it, realize a little bit hard to see, but just to kind of give folks an idea of where plantings will go and the variety that will be undertaken there. But it has been, many of the plantings around the perimeter of Courts Plus are original to when Courts Plus itself was developed in the early 1990s. So looking forward to refreshing and refurbishing that entire landscape there around that building. That kind of completes our discussion of projects for 2025. I want to just shift a little bit to financials. Aren't intending to spend a lot of time on financials, but want to mention from perspective of the state of, we will tell you, and Commissioner Graf will echo this, that the state of the Elmhurst Park District's finances is very strong. The Park Board has excellent and well thought out policies, as I said, to ensure that they are being good stewards of the community's tax dollars. In addition, the Park Board has policies that speak to the fact that more than half of the district's revenues on an annual basis are to come from non-tax sources, whether those be program user fees, membership rates that we charge, rental fees. And so again, very strong financial policies and finances at the district. One chart that we would like to share here, though, is this is a chart that became very well, I think, well known in the community during our referendum efforts. This chart shows the tax rates for every park district in DuPage County. And we used this during the referendum and before it to show, as I said, the purple bars are every park district in DuPage County. The green bar is the bar that we have been highlighting throughout our informational efforts during the referendum to show where the Elmhurst Park District sits, that green bar and tag there, showing where we sat before the referendum. And now that the referendum has passed, we want to illustrate and show folks where we will sit after and as a result of it. Prior to the referendum, we were at about the top of the bottom third of Park District tax rates in DuPage County, and we now sit at about the bottom of the top third. We sit right between the Lamont and Roselle Park Districts. So again, kind of living proof here of the impacts of the referendum. Also want to mention, because since the referendum has passed, we've received questions from a number of folks who've asked us when they will start to see this on their tax bills, and that's an excellent question. It will start to be seen on the tax bills that residents will see in 2025. So in this coming year, we receive our tax bills, I want to say, in late spring, and payments are due then, I think, June and September, and the referendum will be seen on those tax bills that will appear in 2025. So with that, we're very, very pleased to have provided this information and kind of give an overview of the state of the Elmhurst Park District for 2024. I'm going to click now and check on our chat. It looks like we might have a question here. So let me read through this. It says, congratulations on receiving the community support to pass the referendum. It is well deserved. Do you have an anticipated timeline for releasing the RFP for a construction manager or general contractor for the Wagner Center and additional referendum projects? It's a great question. We don't have a specific timeline yet. We have just started to circle back around on that. As we've explained during the process, our efforts for many, many months recently have been centered around getting information out so that the community can make an informed choice. That has now happened, and we're just now underway with starting efforts towards working at the next steps and actually beginning that process. What I can say is we won't have anything out to market before the end of the calendar year, but we would look forward to that happening in early 2025. I'm going to scroll down a little bit and see if we have any others. I am not seeing any other questions, so that might be the only question that we've received at this time. I'm kind of talking slowly just to see if anyone else on the call is going to send in another chat before we sign off. But it looks like not. So with that, want to again thank everyone. Commissioner Graff, I'm sure you'd say the same.
Yep, I definitely would. I want to appreciate everybody's time for listening or watching. And, we're always here if you need to have some questions answered by the park board or from our executive director.
Absolutely, 100%. Thank you, Commissioner Graff. Last reminder that this session was recorded, and will be available on the Park District's website in the coming days. And we'll look forward to talking to you. Oops, you know what? Before we sign off, maybe we got another chat question. Let's check here. Just a thank you from that question. Great, fantastic. So with that, we will sign off. And as I said, the recording will be available probably next week for other folks to access. Again, we thank you for your time and for a tremendous, exciting, and really historic 2024 for the Elmhurst Park District. And we'll look forward to 2025 being just as good. Thanks, everyone.
Absolutely.